Shalom, Baraka, Mispaka, peace and blessings, family. This video is simply a warning, guys, of the times that we're living in. We are currently living in the time of Yahuwah's preparation. Yahuwah is preparing to do and to carry out his plan since the beginning. And I'm going to show you guys, how do I know that? How do I know that we're living in the time of Yahuwah's preparation? Let's look at this prophecy in the book of Nahum, chapter 2, and watch it describe the time that we're living in now. Chapter 2, verse 3. The shield of his mighty men is made red. The valiant men are in scarlet. The chariots shall be with flaming torches in the day of his preparation. It says in the day of his preparation, the chariots will be with flaming torches. It says clearly that in the day of his preparation, the chariots will be with flaming torches. Now, it didn't say his chariots, it said the chariots. So that means the normal chariots will be with flaming torches. Let's continue to read. And the fir trees shall be terribly shaken. The chariots shall rage in the streets. They shall jostle one against another in the broad ways. They shall seem like torches. They shall run like the lightnings. So what's going on? Nahum is seeing a vision, and he's trying his very best to write down exactly what he's seeing. And he's seeing some chariots in the streets. He never said anything about horses, but he's seeing something. He's visioning a whole bunch of chariots in the streets raging, moving as fast as lightning, running into each other. The word jostle means to run into another object, right? To basically to crash. And he's saying they will be with flames, with torches. He's seeing these lights that he can't explain, and he can only describe them as torches. And they're just moving throughout the street. It doesn't take a genius to understand that the prophet Nahum is describing cars, vehicles, trucks, things of that nature. This is what Nahum is seeing. He's seeing chariots. Never said anything about horses. They're in the streets. They're in the streets. It says they shall rage in the streets. They shall basically overwhelm the streets. It's a whole bunch of these chariots, and they shall be with torches of fire. I take that literally and metaphorically, because when you are seeing a vision and you're seeing lights, the only sources of light that they had back then was the sun, moon, stars, candles, bonfires, or torches, right? So you're just seeing these moving things, and you're thinking, well, the only source of light is either a luminary or fire. So this has to be torches. You've seen these electric lights on the front of these cars, and the only way that you can describe them is like torches of fire, so that's the metaphorical, but it could be literal, because a lot of cars literally can shoot fire out of the tailpipe. And on top of that, when these cars jostle into each other, like it says in verse 4, you have these bloody car accidents, and a lot of these crashes are with fire. Let's take into mind the fact that it says they shall be as fast as lightning. Think about it. You're seeing this in a vision. The fastest thing that these people would have seen back then is probably a horse. But as we know, vehicles can run much faster than a horse, right? A car can drive much faster than a horse can run, right? Actually, nothing moves faster on earth than a car or a truck. Yeah, a train, but clearly this is not talking about trains, right? Vehicles move faster than anything else on earth. There's nothing on land that can actually take speeds faster than these vehicles that we see, right, in this captivity. So what is this teaching? What is this talking about? This is literally Yah telling us in Nahum that there will be cars in the day of his preparation. There will be cars. Simply put, the things that we call cars, they call chariots. And these chariots have torches. They move in the streets like lightning, and they jostle into each other. Horse-drawn chariots, they don't bump into each other. Why not? Because horses have a brain. Horses know not to run into each other. Even if you try to make a horse run into another horse, it's not going to do it. Trust me, I ride horses. I know horses, you got control over the animal, but you don't got complete control over it, right? You try to get it to run into something, it won't do it. You got to break the horse enough just to make it jump over a gate, right? But no matter what, it's not going to run into another horse, you know? So you got these chariots running into each other. That would be pretty much impossible with a horse-driven chariot. So what is this talking about? We're not just going to sit here and act like this is not vehicles. Yahuwah will redeem us from this captivity very soon. You know what I'm saying? Because he's preparing everything right now. If you go to the very first part of the verse, it said, the shield of his mighty men is made red. Yahuwah is getting our weapons prepared for us to fight as we speak. Right now, Yahuwah is preparing our weapons for war. We already know that we are his battle axe. We will bring vengeance and destruction onto this captivity and all nations abroad that we are scattered. And we will put an end to all of them, right? We'll put it in. This is the final war. This is the war of all wars. Yahuwah is going to go into a permanent stage of peace. This earth will be in a permanent stage of peace. So after this war, there will be no other war. So this is going to be the worst war ever. Remember, Yahuwah is a God of war. He likes war. He does. And to go into a stage of 100% peace, Yahuwah wants to see a war. He wants to see a real war. Oh, he'll come and he'll overperform to be better than any war. Get ready for it, man. Imagine if you like something and you only gonna do it for the last time. You're gonna want it to be the best, right? Exactly. So that's what's gonna happen with this war. He's gonna destroy all other armies completely. It's gonna be just like that, and it's gonna be world peace for the rest of infinity, period. But let's talk about another prophecy that's being fulfilled right now. Isaiah chapter 11, verse 15. It says, and Yahuwah shall utterly destroy the tongue of the Mizraim sea, and with his mighty wind shall he shake his hand over the river, and shall smite it in the 7 streams, and make men go over dry shod. So what is this talking about? What is this talking about? It says right here in this verse in Isaiah that Yahuwah will shake his hand over the tongue of the Egyptian sea. Well, what's the tongue of the Mizraim sea? What river flows into the Mizraim sea? Well, what is the Mizraim sea? If we were to look at the locations that they give us, the Mizraim sea is the Red Sea, correct? However, there's no river that flows into the Red Sea, okay? But in America, what will be the Mizraim Sea? The Mizraim Sea in America will be the Gulf of Mexico. Now, what river flows into the Gulf of Mexico? The Mississippi River. Now, let's go back to the east. Let's look at modern day Egypt. Does modern day Egypt have a river with 7 streams? No, it does not. It has only the Nile River. And the Nile River has a delta, and this delta has, about 3 real streams that lead into the Mediterranean Sea. So that is also not, that doesn't match either. Only in America do you have a river with 7 major streams. Not only does it have 7 major streams, it literally resembles the menorah. It has 3 branches on one side and 3 branches on the other, and it meets directly in the middle with one major river. And speaking of that, that part that it meets in the middle will be around the Tennessee-Missouri part. And that is the part of the river that is drying up right now as we speak. That part right there is starting to dry up. It has shrunk 50%, and you can almost walk across it.
Here is the Mississippi River. That is the Tennessee side. And here is the Missouri side. All dried up. Can almost cross it.
So this is what you have to understand. This is some serious stuff. When Yahuwah destroys all 7 of these streams, all 7 of the rivers that lead into the Mississippi River, then that's when you know it's time for us to leave this captivity. There's going to be a series of weather events that's going to make this happen. This is not the rivers are not just going to dry up over time just because. He said he's going to use his wind to dry it up. Now his wind would really be a south wind, right? Because the south wind brings heat, right? The heat will dry up the river. Now, what comes with south winds in North America? Hurricanes. You follow me, right? Hurricanes are known to destroy the Gulf of Mexico. Whatever part it touches land, the water is sucked out. It happened with the recent Ian. It happened with Hurricane Irma. They are notorious for sucking up the water out of rivers, making rivers flow backwards. They made one of the hurricanes made the Mississippi River flow uphill. Now let me tell you this south wind that's gonna bring heat. It's not just gonna bring heat and leave. There's gonna be a serious heat wave that's gonna come to the North American continent. And this is gonna be the worst heat wave ever recorded on the North American continent. And this heat wave is gonna be strong enough to dry up one of the largest rivers on earth, and that is the Mississippi. The Mississippi River is in the top 5 largest rivers on the whole green earth. And to dry that up would take enormous heat with low precipitation. This is what the United States is going to experience. As we know right now, Yahuwah's hand currently is over China. And there's a heat bubble in China. And China is being heated up so much that they cannot take it. And it's really ruining them as a people. Now, here's the thing that we must understand. China is the top producer of pollution on the earth. They're putting a lot of things in the sea, a lot of things in the air, putting plastic everywhere. They're producing most of the plastic, and the plastic is ruining every single thing in existence. So, that karma had to come upon China. But who was the second in the production of all this stuff? The U.S. And when it hovers over America, don't say, I didn't warn you. There is going to come with some serious trouble. Unimaginable. Water shortages is all you need to collapse a society. You don't need anything else. You don't need martial law. You don't need all this other stuff. All you need is a water shortage. In order to dry up all 7 streams in Mississippi, that will literally require an enormous amount of heat and a very low amount of precipitation. So I'm not calling for a drought. I'm just telling you this is what is required to actually fulfill this prophecy. If you're going to dry up all 7 streams, it's going to take an enormous amount of heat. And there's going to be hurricanes in the process as well. The hurricanes are going to be, for the first time, you're going to be having people excited about hurricanes because they know that's when they can get water. You know what I'm saying? When this heat bubble stays over the Gulf of Mexico, that's going to cause serious convection in the currents and in the air itself and in the atmosphere. It's going to cause things to spin. If you know anything about convection and heat causes air and water to spin, which forms a hurricane. And that's going to come from the south to the north, hit the Gulf, and people, for the first time ever, are going to be clapping their hands and praising Yah for a hurricane. I'm going to read that one more time. It says, and Yahuwah shall utterly destroy the tongue of the Egyptian sea, that's the Mississippi River. And with his mighty wind shall he shake his hand over the river, and shall smite it in the 7 streams, and make men go over dry shod. Now, hold up. Dry shod means with dry shoes. Yahuwah is going to make the river of Mizraim, the Mississippi River, so dry that people are going to be walking over this river with dry shoes. Not muddy shoes, dry shoes. The Mississippi River is huge. I don't know if you've seen it, but when you're standing on one side of this river, you can barely see the other side of the river. The Mississippi River is huge, guys. Seriously. And in order to draw this up, man, I'm telling you, it's not gonna be no jokes. It's not gonna be no games. This is some stuff that you need to prepare for. You need to be looking around for natural springs, wells, things of that nature. I'm just telling you guys, but keep the commandments. This is why keeping the commandments and the day of Yah's preparation is such a big deal. It's gonna help your chances of survival in these times. Now, only a little piece of the Mississippi River has dried up. As we know, there's been a serious drought in U.S. this year, especially in the West. There has been what you would call a mega drought. In fact, they say it's the worst drought that America has ever experienced in years. And this is really, really bad because the people in the West, they're begging for rain. People in the East, they just got flooded with a hurricane. But in the middle is what's being affected. The middle is being what's affected. In the middle is the river. The hurricane sucking the river up on one side, and the drought is drying the river up on the other side. Yahuwah knows exactly what he's doing. This proves that the land is not in the Middle East. Just pay attention. Just think. I want you guys to use your brains, right? Don't be a sheep for just 1 second, please. It says, and there shall be a highway for the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, like it was to Israel in the day that he came out of the land of Mizraim. So pay attention. It said there will be a highway for the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria. So that means the people in Assyria will cross this dry river to get to the land. So this dry river will become a highway. It just means, the word for highway right here just means a route. This dry river will become a route for the people who are in Assyria to cross over to get back to the Holy Land. Pay attention. First of all, clearly our people do not live in modern day Assyria, which is in Iraq. If you live in Assyria, there's no way you can cross an Egyptian river to get to the Holy Land, because the Holy Land would be in between Assyria and Egypt, right? I want you guys to understand this. So if the Holy Land in the Middle East is in between Assyria and Egypt, it will be impossible to leave Assyria, cross an Egyptian river, and get into the Holy Land. That would be impossible. I hope you guys understand basic geography and know that that would be impossible. Therefore, this only applies to the Americas. Assyria is in the eastern part of America, ranging from the south from Florida all the way up to the Great Lakes. You have to cross the Mississippi to get to both Egypt and to get to the Holy Land. And that is what Scripture supports, but the Middle East does not support. In fact, no other place on earth supports that. And I'm going to continue to push this. Where is Assyria? I'm going to make a video called Assyria in America, and it's going to go into depth. Points on points, artifacts, everything, proving that the eastern part around Florida, Georgia, Carolinas, Michigan, all that is Assyria. I'm going to prove it without a shadow of a doubt. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 6. It says, howl ye, for the day of Yahuwah is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Therefore all hands shall be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. It said every man, all people will be scared in this day. Even the children of Yasharah, we will be scared in this day. That's why it says in the book of Amos, woe unto them that desire the day of Yahuwah. It's not something that you should want to happen. You understand? I'm going to be real. I want it to happen just so we can go into our land. But it's not something that you should be like, oh yes, I can't. I'm so excited, because guess what? It's going to be such a bad day for everybody. We're going to be the ones fighting it. But just the amount of death that is going to happen on this day is going to be extreme. And it said, every man's heart shall melt. And I find that really peculiar as well, because most people have weak hearts. Most people nowadays are especially very weak and sensitive. And in the most sensitive part, where everybody is used to the LG4TE community and all the different stuff that they're telling you, don't offend me, safe place, and all the oversensitive community, you can't make a joke anymore. everybody's labeled misogynistic and all these different things. We live in such a sensitive time, and the most sensitive time is when who is going to do this. I want you guys to understand, when everybody's so sensitive, oh, a dog just died, oh my God, boom, shit's going to be blowing up, people's brains going to come out. It's going to be a very sensitive time. People are going to be really weak and squirmish, very sensitive, and guess what? This time is going to happen during that time. It's going to be a time more sensitive, with more sensitive people than now, with more weak men than now, and their hearts are going to melt. Because on top of that, not only are they weak men that they're going to have in the future, but also they have heart problems because they don't eat right. They don't take care of themselves. Seriously, guys, I'm being literal here. And if you got heart problems, you need to try some hibiscus tea. Are you looking for a natural high blood pressure medication that works just as good as over-the-counter medication without the harmful side effects? Well, look no further than hibiscus tea. Hibiscus tea has been used for weight loss. It has also been used to clear your skin. It has also been used to prevent crystals forming in the kidneys. Hibiscus tea is an overall heart tonic, meaning it helps the heart with any problem that it may have early on. Its main attribute is it's good and beneficial for high blood pressure. It works just as good as any type of over-the-counter medication. It has no side effects and only takes 2 cups of hibiscus tea to bring your blood pressure down to normal levels. Hibiscus tea is actually extremely high in vitamin C. Remember, when you think of vitamin C, C is for cancer, because vitamin C has been proven to eradicate cancer out of the body. Hibiscus tea also clears the body of free radicals. This means it prevents the cells from suffering any damage in the body, and you'll look young for a very long time.